what's up? This is Odulena from Odulena Digital, and today is Sunday, time for another video. Today I'm going to talk about a topic which I think is very relevant and is becoming more and more relevant, and this is how to practice Stoicism in the 21st century. Welcome to my channel. Be sure to subscribe. Every Sunday there is a new video on topics like my favorite books, courses, as well as some philosophical thoughts about life in 21st century. My name is Odulena. I work for Google, but everything I share here is my own personal opinion and perspective of things. So today the topic is really related to another video which I did earlier this year, which is one of my most successful videos. You can watch it here. The review of Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers. So I realized that a lot of you are very interested in this topic, and it's becoming kind of a trend. There's a lot of writers and a lot of channels talking about Stoicism. And this has been part of my life as well, even unconsciously, without knowing that I am a Stoic. I have adopted some of the thoughts and some of the ways that they think about the world. So in this video, I'm going to summarize my experiences and what all else I have learned. Why do you think Stoicism is so popular today? I think that the reason why Stoicism is becoming such a trend now is because we live in this kind of society where we seem to have everything. Compared to our ancestors, especially if you live in the middle class, there's a lot of middle class societies now developing in countries like India, in some countries in South America, in Africa as well. And more people are having access to things that their ancestors never even have thought would be possible. Let's say in theory we are living in the dream world of our ancestors, with nice places, with heating, with water, with some deliveries. Like you can summon even food to come to your apartment just by tapping a smartphone, hello, like a small computer on your hand. And this is all becoming more and more affordable. But still, people are feeling unfulfilled. The main philosophy of our time is, of course, consumerism. That you will have to pursue things, material things, to impress people that you don't care about. So earning and amassing material things or fame or both has become something like a by default strategy of most of us. And I think more and more people feel that this strategy is not working that well. Even though you hear so many times that there are rich people that are crying in their Ferraris, and that they are people that, let's say, Hollywood stars that are really desperate in drug abuse or committing suicides, we still kind of want to try it on your own. Like, yes, but if I become rich, and I will have a different time. But the reality is not about being rich or being poor. It's about what you want out of life. And the emphasis here is on the off life rather than in your life. Because at the moment when you ask someone who has goals, let's say you have some kind of goals, it's a lot about things that you want to have in your life. Like even people are becoming like a commodity, like a thing. Yes, I want to have a wife, or I want to have a husband, or I want to have a boyfriend, and he's like this and this and this. So you want something like you even turning the person into a thing that you want to have in your life. And with this philosophy, when you are acquiring these things, you realize more and more that the more you have, the more you want, and you're still feeling unfulfilled. Like things that you were, let's say, your goals, your dreams to have, some point you achieve them and you realize that it's not that big, and then you want something else. If you just compare yourself, let's say 5 years ago, for example, I was just going out of university. I was quite struggling on a student budget, low-paid job, housemates, sharing a bathroom. Let's say my life has improved significantly since then. However, I still find myself craving more and more things, wanting more and more things. Let's say if you have your first car, you would probably be the happiest person ever. But after a few years, don't you want another car? Don't you want a faster one, a newer one, a sports car maybe, different color? So this is the nature of wanting material things and fame, which is also as elusive as the material things, is that they don't bring you fulfillment. And I think many of us are at the stage where you have certain things, let's say, that you probably thought you wouldn't have otherwise, and you're feeling unfulfilled. And this is where philosophy like Stoicism comes in this kind of society where hedonism and pursuing pleasure has become the default. Stoics are kind of on the opposite side. So when it comes to Stoicism, it's an interesting philosophy. It does not really think about you as being rich or poor, as being good or bad. It's about what you actually want out of life. And for a true Stoic, they want two things. They want to be virtuous, to have virtue, which in the Stoic world has different meaning from what it has in our world. And they want tranquility or peace of mind. Let's talk first about the virtue. When it comes to a Stoic, meaningful life for them means that they have influenced the world in a positive way. Let's say they have influenced the ones around them, their close ones, or maybe a bigger society. They have made some kind of positive impact while they were here on the planet. And this is a very important part. For Stoics, we are very focused on the temporary state of our existence. They constantly remind themselves that while you are here, you are limited. Time is depreciating asset. You are running out of time. You might run out of money, you get more money, but when you run out of time, it's game over. It's over. If you watch the movie Jumanji, this is actually the idea where you have multiple lives in the game and you have one left. But actually in reality, this is all you have. You have one life left. Let's say if you're playing a video games, you have multiple lives. And this is who you want to be. Like, you want to play your character, you want to make the best out of the temporary time where you are in this game. Comparing, let's say, what happened 100 years ago, there was the same fights and people wanted money and someone wanted to marry someone and there were love stories and children born and fights and wars. And now it's all gone. The whole generation disappeared. Nothing of all these things that they cared so much about is remembered. It's gone. It is gone, and this is how we're gonna disappear as well. And we have to be really aware every moment that we spend on this planet is limited. We are depreciating, we are getting older, everybody else around is getting older. And first rule of being a Stoic is to make the maximum use of your time while you are here on this planet, because it's very, very limited. Marcus Aurelius says, yesterday sperm, tomorrow a mummy or ashes. This is it. So first rule, make the best out of your time in this planet. Make the best for the society, for the greater community. Don't focus on yourself. Don't be egoistic. Focus on how you can improve everything else, and this is going to bring you some fulfillment. Second point of rule of being a Stoic, this is tranquility, or sense of peace. In my previous video about OKRs, I was talking about objectives and key results. So let's say for a Stoic, the objective is to have virtue, to have positive impact on the world. And how they do it, the key results is through tranquility, achieving your personal tranquility and calmness. And being calm, and with your calmness, you influence positively everybody else around you. So what do they mean by calmness? One thing is, again, not focusing on the things that you are gonna lose. And what Stoics actually practice is something very interesting. It's called negative visualization. You have heard about positive visualization before, imagining how you are achieving all your dreams and all the positive things that are happening to you. So there is an option also to do the opposite. You can imagine that everything that you right now have, all the things that are around you, you can lose like that. And you yourself, you can disappear like that. This could be your last meal. This could be the last time that you are vacuuming the house, for example. And there will be a moment where it will be your last vacuuming. There will be your last meal. There will be the last time you kiss someone that you love. And you don't know when this moment is going to come. So taking time deliberately to appreciate everything that you have and to understand its temporary nature. That everything, including you, is really perishable. And if you focus all your meaning of your existence on the things or the people around you, you expose yourself to a immense amount of suffering, because essentially you are going to lose some of them. You might die yourself, but also you know that your close ones, they're all mortals. Time is ticking away, and you're going to lose some of them. Like your parents, for example, at some point you are going to witness their death. So appreciate while they're here. Or your child, let's say you're a parent and you have your child there, and you don't think about the bad things that can happen to it. You're just happy living together, and then something bad happens. And how many times parents are thinking if only I could return back the time, but you cannot return back the time. And what's the difference? Let's say someone who is Stoic will take time deliberately to think, well, this is my child. Now it's, 2 years old. Tomorrow it's going to be 3 years old. Time is passing away. She might grow up and might not see her again. Something might happen to her and might not see her again. Why not spend the time as much as possible? Cherish every moment instead of taking people and things for granted. Because we do take people and things for granted. And once we lose them, we understand how close they are and how lucky we are. How many times this has happened, and this causes a tremendous amount of stress, grief, and sometimes lifelong suffering and lifelong regrets. So Stoics want to avoid that. They want to have tranquility. So therefore, they do deliberately negative visualization in order to appreciate all the good things that are in their life, in order to live and every day as if they're last. Then, very important rule, focus on what you can control and understand what you cannot control or you have limited control of. So for a true Stoic, they know and understand very well what they can control. And if there is something that you cannot control, you don't waste your time thinking about it. So a Stoic will never lose time on thinking what others are thinking about them, because this is something they cannot control. You cannot go into the brain of your neighbor or your friend or your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend and think what do they thought about me? Do they think about me? You have no idea. This is their brain, their life, their experience. You have yours, and your time is limited. So you cannot waste your time thinking about what the others think about you. Second thing is reacting to other people's and situations. At some point in your life, even if you're the luckiest person, even if you live in the most wonderful environment ever, you will work or have to deal with someone who is annoying you for some reason. And in order to cope with the situation without provoking anger, you will have to learn to deal with it. You have to understand and control your emotion. This is actually a big problem for me that I've been dealing with, and my temper is pretty high. So when I was younger, I would be very, very loud, expressing my anger, expressing negative emotion, and even being very cocky at some point. And this has brought me only problems, only stress, only difficulties, a lot of arguments with other people who are exactly like me. One last thing, I do get this question quite a bit on my other videos, and this is, can I be a Stoic and a practicing Christian or Muslim or Hindu or any kind of religion? Is there a conflict? And this is a very important one. Stoicism is not a religion. Stoicism is a life philosophy. So you can be absolutely any religion that you can imagine, and there would not be conflict. At least I have not found a real conflict, even though Marcus Aurelius, one of the biggest Stoics, was persecuting Christians. It is not because of their philosophy that he was disagreeing. It was just because he was seeing them as rebels against the Roman Empire. And that was his job as an emperor, to look after the empire. There are a lot of similarities between Stoicism and Christian doctrine. So Stoics do not encourage polygamy. They want you to have one relationship and to focus on the well-being of your partner and to care for each other. They are against extreme luxury or extreme abundance, against anger. Anger is one of the deadly sins in Christianity. Against laziness, another deadly sin. So you can draw a lot of similarities as well with Buddhism, like the way that you calm yourself, the way that you lose your desire from wanting and desiring things. This is a Zen Buddhist theme as well. So you can see a lot of similarities with other religions. If you can think of other ones, I'm not so familiar with Islam and with Hinduism, but you can add these in the comments below if you have thought about this. So this is all from me for today, just a few tips. Of course, I can make a separate video about each one of them. Let me know in the comments if you want to see such videos. This is all from me for today. Subscribe to the channel, please. Hit the notification button when I'll be sharing the new video, and I'll see you very soon.